Mr. President, I think we've beaten this one to death, and I appreciate the conversation because it's an important question. I think, assuming if this passes tonight, there are 4 counselors who have taken up our own counsel to argue with, or to make a case to the court that there is an alternative to the alternative on the table. I encourage other members of the council to join us in that effort. I think showing that if a majority of us pass this tonight, that this is the council's preference. I think it's imperative on us to join together and present that option to the court as well as a unified body. So I'd encourage others to join us tonight in that legislation if we pass this section, so that we can defend our action tonight in public in the other venue that we're still considering. So thank you.
All right, so we're back on amendment number 3, as originally proposed by Councilor Pena. As we're going to close on that amendment.
Well, I would urge your support, but I think I just want to end, I know we beat this one to death, but I just want to say a couple of things. Is that, I had signed on to the legislation originally. Some of the proponents of this legislation came to me initially and talked about their desire to want to get it on the ballot. I'm actually the one that asked for an opportunity to sit down and put forth a resolution, because I did have concerns with the resolution in some areas that I thought it may hurt small businesses. So in a naive way, I asked them if we could sit down and we could draft a resolution, work on some of the areas of concern, work with the business community in order to address some of the areas of concern, so that we could come up with something that was fair to everyone. Anyway, so as you know, I ended up withdrawing the legislation just because there was some huge kickback from some of the business community, and I did let them know that if we didn't work towards a solution to make this something that's healthy for everyone, that I knew that the proponents would go and get the signatures and get this on the ballot, And so whether there are some issues with it now or not, I think they've done their due diligence in making sure that, they're trying to support workers out there, and to ensure that they have work, sick leave. And I had just had a conversation with Adrienne about, I had my son who was working somewhere, and he actually had to take off a couple of days because he had an impacted tooth. And he lost his job because they couldn't give him the few days that he needed in terms of sick leave. So it's something that's affecting our community. The last thing that I think anybody on this council wants to do is hurt anybody who is a business owner as well. But they did their due diligence. I think that when we get into the weeds about what size everything should be, I think we should. That's why when I'm talking to Chris, I really felt that we needed to do something that was in all fairness to everyone, and I think that they did the work that they needed to get this on the ballot, and it was just important that people then could read it, because I think the courts will go back and they look at us and picking, depending on what size that we want our ballot to have. Who's to say that in the future, once we set precedents, that we wouldn't start picking and choosing what we wanted in smaller font. So anyway, I just thought this was a fairness issue, and I urge your support.
There's a motion and a second for amendment number 3 to R211. All those in favor say yes and raise your hand. Yes. Opposed? And that passes